Well, no, it's going to take a lot more for me to consider them as title challengers, but they're giving it a good effort, bless them.
Yeah. I think this is the first time post-Ferguson where they've been this close to the top of the table.
You should be sure, mate.
It's time to hang up the stockings, sit down, and flick on the TV and watch some football. It's the Off the Crossbar podcast, and it is now time for the festive period as we look forward to this weekend's games and some of next week's. With myself, Regan Walsh, and my co-presenter, Bradley Morris. As usual, it's time to get talking football. So, how are you today, Brad?
It'll be lonely this Christmas.
Wasn't expecting that song to come out of you. I don't know why I was expecting you to do Noddy Holder's It's Christmas.
No, Christmas is cancelled. Fuck this year. Fuck everything. And
you can still enjoy it because, as I've said, we've got plenty of football starting from the 26th onwards. We have football daily.
not everyone can enjoy it.
Well, if you're a football fan and listening to a football podcast, you can enjoy it.
Tell that to the Arsenal fans.
True. I mean, after, again, their result last night in the Carabao Cup, it definitely reaffirms they won't be having a good Christmas and will be in full tears.
Can't use the same joke.
Yes, I can, because it gets better every time I say it.
It's not as repetitive as the government slogan.
Yeah, but I'm not as bad as the government. So, as we said, the festive period or full festive fixtures kicks off on Saturday lunchtime with Leicester City versus Manchester United at the King Power Stadium. It's top of the table clash, second versus third. Manchester United are in third with a game in hand over Brendan Rodgers' side. We've talked about it the other day on our review show. Manchester United are actually looking like title challengers now, and if they win this game, they'll obviously move up to second and be 2 points behind Liverpool for the time being until they play on Sunday.
Well, no, it's going to take a lot more for me to consider them as title challengers, but they're giving it a good effort, bless them.
Yeah, I think this is the first time post-Ferguson where they've been this close to the top of the table.
You should be sure, mate.
Mathematically, like points-wise, since he's retired.
Guess how close did Jose get?
But that season, he finished second. They were 20 points behind Man City.
That wasn't the Centurions season, was it?
It might have been.
Yeah, sounds like about that time.
Yeah, I can't remember whether that was the season before or that season. But yeah, this is the closest Manchester United have been to sitting atop of the Premier League and actually challenging for a league title post-Ferguson. Leicester City are looking, again, good. They've had little blips here and there, but you got to say, overall, they're having a good season. I think it's going to be a tightly fought match. I don't know.
If anything, it's the game that will decide whether United are genuine or not.
Yeah, because, I mean, Leicester's home form this season hasn't been the best. Out of the 20 teams in the league, they have the 10th best home record, whilst Man United have the best away record, joint with Leicester. So it's one of them where, based on the road stats this season, you'd got to go in favour of Manchester United. Other big games we have over on this weekend is Arsenal versus Chelsea at 5:30. Obviously not this season. It's not really a big game considering how poor Arsenal's been, but just for the two statures of the club and the fact it's a London derby.
Inverted commas back out.
Yeah, massively, because it's central London versus North London. So Chelsea, I think you got to say, are favourites going into this. I think
if they don't win this, you can rule out their title challenge
Yeah.
because that would be embarrassing for them.
Yeah, it will be a massive embarrassment to Frank Lampard's side should they not win this. For me, I'm not giving Arsenal any chance here. I mean,
This is the big talking point now of Arsenal because these next 2 games that will happen over this period couldn't be more important to them.
yeah, I mean, they've got Chelsea and Brighton are their 2 fixtures. Brighton are 1 place above. No, sorry, they're not 1 place above them, are they? 2 places below them.
Yeah, because that puts respect.
Just about. So Brighton are 2 places below them, whilst Chelsea are up in 5th place. Lose. I think even if they draw against Brighton, and they lose to Chelsea, they're 100% in this relegation battle.
Yeah, and again, that's not even counting for the other results.
Yeah.
Because you look at Burnley, big win for them the other night, and one of their 2 games is against Sheffield United.
And the other one is Leeds United on Sunday.
Both winnable.
Yeah.
And then there's also Fulham,
who have got Southampton on the weekend, and then next week they face Tottenham, which is obviously, admittedly, the harder game, but
difficult pair for them. But you would say that they could try and edge something because of how sound they've been defensively against teams recently.
Yeah. So I mean, especially after seeing Arsenal's performance yesterday against Man City in the Carabao Cup, which they lost 4-1. There's no promising signs for Arsenal, is there?
Almost not, but they've made a lot of changes for that game, as did Man City. But Man City's lineup was still relatively, would consider around mid-table of this current Premier League.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't. I mean, yes, the obvious change was in goal for Arsenal with Runnison coming in for Leno, and then
Arsenal fans backed him very well, didn't they?
And then Cedric Suarez starting on the right-hand side without any Bukayo Saka. So, I mean, there was a few changes to that Arsenal side, but none drastically. I mean, obviously their bench was weaker than what it has been, because without any Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang on it, and still interesting to see that Mesut Ozil can't even get into a Carabao Cup team. I think his time at Arsenal's done. But yeah, for me, I don't give Arsenal any chance in this. I think Chelsea are absolutely going to destroy them.
I kind of think this could be closer than it would seem, but I don't expect them to win it.
Other interesting games we have over this match day 15, which is Saturday and Sunday, 26th and 27th. You'd say Wolves Tottenham on Sunday evening. It looks like it could be proper good game. Wolves currently sit in 11th, while Spurs are in 6th. Spurs haven't had the best of weeks recently with their recent results. Wolves again themselves have had a little bit of a blip in the Premier League, but on paper this has the potential to be one of the better games of this weekend.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they need the bounce back pretty quickly if they're serious about going for Europe again like they have done.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think Jose's side, I think, probably need the win more than Nuno Espirito's. Just to say, right, we're determined to give a fight. Where I think a bad result for Wolves obviously is bad and could see them slip a little further down the table to where Arsenal are if the 3 teams below them win. But I think there's more pressure on Tottenham to say, right, we are actually challenging for the top 4 and potentially the league.
Yeah, because in terms of aspirations, the loss would hurt Tottenham a lot more. But I wouldn't, in the case of Wolves, I wouldn't say defeat would knock them into relegation candidates. I think they're way better than that.
Yeah. And obviously the next big game we spoke briefly about was Leeds versus Burnley, 14th versus 16th in the league.
I'm so intrigued by this.
It's actually one for
It's
once where,
it's so weird how this is going to be Mr. Brexit Britain,
yes,
Sean
it's Mr.
Dyche, versus the tactical flair of Marcelo Bielsa.
the Argentinian flair of Marcelo Bielsa.
It's
Result,
hard. We don't even know if Sean Dyche backed Brexit or not. It's so harsh.
yeah. So with this one, Leeds a win, and obviously Arsenal lose against Chelsea the day before. I think it is. Yeah, would put a bit of breathing space between them, and obviously put the Arsenal right in it. But at the same time, a Burnley win and Arsenal loss would put them above Arsenal and bring Arsenal to the closer. So it's one of them. You're like, I don't know who will want to win this game, just for the banter of Arsenal potentially going down.
Well, we know you want Burnley to win, so
Oh yeah.
you're all about the banter. Me, I just worry about my own team. My team's too big now to worry about what happens go down there.
Oh, I mean, it was only a few years back when you didn't have any joy, and it was just pure misery when
It was
Aston
around this time of the year. It was the 3-2 defeat to Watford when I realised, yep, my club's finished. Troy Daly scores near enough winner towards the end. Celebrates crazily in front of the whole end. Stuff being thrown at him, and I'm just there. Yeah, we're going down.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the outcome of those few games, and then match day 16. Interesting games. We've got Everton versus Man City on Monday the 28th at 8 o'clock. 4th versus 8th at the time of recording.
So winnable for Everton, that one.
Yeah, it kind of is. I don't
They're
know.
at home, and they seem to turn up against the bigger teams.
Yeah, I think if City drop points against Everton, you got to write them off for any league challenge this season.
I feel like they're already written off slightly, but it's on them to try and muster any sort of fight in that. Because we're saying Man U written it, but they've arguably had just as bad a start in areas.
Yeah, it's one of them where United haven't really looked like title challengers, but have shown more of a fight than Manchester City have.
Which is so weird to say.
Yeah, especially in recent years. It's definitely one of the stranger comments we've made. But looking at Everton, they're putting up a good top four fight this season. Yes, they had a bit of a blip towards the end of November and the start of this month, but they're looking to have got going again. I think this one would really put. I can't think of the saying that I'm looking for, but Carlo Ancelotti, like, as a real top manager there in terms of like what he's trying to achieve, and I think question marks will surely have to be raised over Pep Guardiola and what's going on at Manchester City. Elsewhere, over match day 16, Brighton take on Arsenal on Tuesday evening. That's the early game on Tuesday. As we said before, it's a potential relegation 6-pointer, even at this early stage of the season for both sides. It's one of them where you think this is one where Arsenal will win and show everyone they're not really as bad as we think they are. But at the same time, from recent weeks, ex-Arsenal players that have scored against Arsenal, Theo Walcott, who plays for Brighton. Yeah, that guy Welbs, Danny Welbeck's going to end up scoring the winner, isn't he?
What's going on?
That's written on the cards, isn't it? Danny Welbeck's going to score the winner.
I mean, this man scored against Villa. He can score against anyone.
Yeah, he can definitely score against that Arsenal side. Does Arteta get the sack if he loses both Chelsea and Brighton, or is he safe for this season, do you think?
I don't think he gets sacked if he loses both of them, but I think he gets sacked if he loses the one after as well. But I feel like you don't have no choice at some point.
The game after is West Brom in the new year.
Oh, you lose that, yeah.
Yeah, I think he has to.
You get rid of him before the January transfer window if you're actually going to try and sign it. Let's try and change the fortunes a bit.
Which would be after the game against Brighton, because that's on the 29th of this month.
It's so just.
But at the same time, though, if they do, they're not going to get a manager within the 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Unless they get someone in just for till the end of the season.
Yeah.
But
we already know the way Arsenal handled the Arteta appointment. They don't plan in advance.
No.
But it'll be so to see the situation they're going in terms of when that Brighton game starts. Either they're going in the highest of confidence after they've got something against Chelsea, or lowest they've ever been.
Yeah. And for me, I just think it's the latter. I know it might seem like a lot of these last few podcasts I've been taking the mick out of Arsenal and that, and I have been, but
we're not alone on that.
But no.
What positives are there right now to say about that club? They have nice kit collections.
Yeah, the kit collection that they released the other week of the 90s one is really nice. I did get that.
They don't deserve to wear those nice kits.
Yeah, the women's team are doing good.
You would know that better than me, but yeah.
I mean, they are second in the league and have scored a phenomenal amount of goals. But yeah, in terms of the men's side and on the pitch, nothing's looking good or promising for Arsenal. And I think if lose both of these, I think he's going to be on the brink, I think. Elsewhere in the Premier League over the match day 16, we have Manchester United Wolves on Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side have been poor at home this season. They have the 8th worst record, or the 12th best, whatever way you want to look at it. So their home form has been poor, but admittedly, Wolves away from the Molineux themselves haven't been the best. They have the 13th best away form. So Man United and Wolves always seems to provide some good entertainment to watch. They always seem to be playing them. It seemed last season and the season before, because of the amount of times they got them in the cup competitions, especially at the latter stages. I don't know. I think United win this, then for me, and they get something against Leicester, whether it's a win or a point, I think then we have to say United are well and truly in this title challenge, I think.
Yeah, but obviously, again, depend on how well Liverpool do in between that time as well.
Yeah.
That game is harder to judge until the first fixtures happen, really.
Yeah, until after the Boxing Day fixture has happened against Leicester.
Injuries, suspensions, you never know.
Yeah. And then speaking of Liverpool, they finished off 2020 with a game against Newcastle at St James's Park, which is the last fixture of 2020 in the Premier League. It's one of them where you would think Liverpool could easily smash Newcastle for like 5 or 6, but at the same time,
this screams Brucey lucky job. Just wanted to go on Newcastle because of everything that happened last night with them and in the defeat to Brentford.
Yes.
Just they were awful.
I don't know what to expect from them really, because at times under Bruce they've looked decent, but other times you're like, they're bad.
You don't know that for a fact, but I was to wait for 2 years. It's the exact same script. It's going through the motions now. They're gonna have poor performances until they have no choice but to get rid of him.
Yeah, and I think especially after that result against Brentford, it could be the start of the trickling effect of Steve Bruce's time coming towards an end.
We're in the stage now where all the pundits are going to come out, back him to high heaven, because the exact same thing happened with us. Jamie Redknapp last night saying to Newcastle fans, "Be careful what you wish for." Guess what? We were told the exact same thing. Look at us right now. Promoted in 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where you're coming from that, and I do have a sense of that is on the brink of happening at Newcastle, and I think
I don't think it happens till the end of the season.
No, I think it's one of them where bad results now could start affecting them until like March, April time, and then I think they will end up thinking of sacking him, and then it'll be one of them where they survive season, but Bruce will be gone before then.
It will only get serious if they have to sack him during the season if they end up being in the bottom three.
Yeah, and
although even then it's debatable.
Yeah, because I mean, at the minute they sit in 12th place. Like we said, results around them, because they are level on points with Crystal Palace and only 4 points ahead of Arsenal. It's one of them where they could be dragged right down into it, a relegation scrap, and it would be kind of typical Newcastle in recent years to be dragged into a relegation scrap when we never thought realistically they should be there. But I don't think there will be no pressure on Bruce after this game. I don't think many people would expect them to win against this Liverpool side.
Games between Newcastle and Liverpool have always been very interesting for the neutral.
And I think this one will provide excellent entertainment to round off 2020. I think it's time to do our predictions.
You said I feel like I actually wanted to talk on both my lot and West Brom, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about the two West Midland sides in the Premier League.
I feel like they were one of the only two we just didn't mention.
I mean, what?
Very important 2 games for those two.
Is there anything ever good to talk about West Brom in this day and age?
Hey, even I'm not going to be this harsh on them, but these 2 games are going to be massive for them. But they shouldn't expect a complete turnaround. This is still quite early in Sam Allardyce's run.
Yeah. So Boxing Day they face Liverpool.
Someone already questioning if Sam is the one.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of talk about it prior to him being appointed. They didn't think out of the managers that were linked with Nigel Pearson and Eddie Howe, the other 2 big names that were mentioned, was Sam Allardyce the best choice? And did he just get the job because he used to play for West Brom or was at West Brom for a period of time during his playing career?
No, he was based on his record of keeping teams up, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the main reason why he was given the job, because he does well at keeping teams up.
Yeah, it was just weird that someone would go for it and expected him to have done the massive turnaround in 3 days into his tenure.
Yeah, it was never, for me, it was never anything I was expecting him to do straight away. It's going to take 4 to 5 games at least to see what he's trying to do at West Brom and if there is then a real chance of them staying up this season.
Granted, I did get slightly worried before that game, thinking, we could. It's Allardyce, you never know what he's like. But yeah, when you really do look at the bigger picture, it's like, that's asking a lot of him.
Yeah, within that short amount of time and maybe having 1 to 2 training sessions, get his philosophy straight in is going to be hard to do.
I just want to go quickly on Villa. these next two games are so vital in terms of how great of a season we actually are going to have this season. I think we beat Palace. That's top 7 if we're lucky. Beat Chelsea, then we're aiming a little bit higher. And I wouldn't rule this out against Chelsea.
No, I wouldn't. I think it's one of them where definitely there is the chance where Villa could actually win the game and look a decent side against Chelsea. Obviously, the obvious absentee from that game will be Ross Barkley because he won't be able to play against his parent club.
Yeah. I'll be sad about it, but I'm actually not because we've proven in the last 2 games we're actually okay without him.
Yeah, and that's why I think he'll probably come back. He's fit enough to come back into the weekend's game against Palace, is he?
The word is he's trained today, and then he probably will feature against Palace.
Yeah.
Apparently he's been fit for a while, they just didn't risk him.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what kind of performance he does play in the game against Palace, and then the selection Dean Smith makes on Monday or Tuesday or even Wednesday against Chelsea. I can't think of what day it is. But it'd be interesting to see what kind of effect that has, like the difference in the style of play without Ross Barkley.
Our away performances have been a lot better than home.
You've got the 3rd best away performance this season and the 14th best home. So definitely something to keep an eye out on.
It's a weird feeling being positive about this team in a Christmas period.
Yeah, I was going to say, being really positive, is this the best you felt in a Villa side since the Martin O'Neill days when Villa were roughly around these places challenging for UEFA Cup and Intertoto Cup positions?
No, put some respect on the Intertoto Cup. No, I was quite young then. I didn't really have the same footballing mind that I guess I'd like to think I have now. But the only year I've had full happiness was that promotion season.
Yeah.
You could argue the season before, but the par final ruined that for me.
I mean, for me, it's got this team has the feeling of if they can finish within the top 8 to 10 this season, I think they can push on a bit more and be there constantly, like an Everton side and Villa of the early 2000s and mid 2000s under Martin O'Neill and that.
You said the early 2000s. It definitely wasn't the early 2000s.
Yeah, that's why I changed over to mid 2000s.
Wasn't the David O'Leary days.
Or the late Gerard Houllier. Was he after Martin O'Neill or was he before?
He was the one straight after. Well, not straight after, but because we had the caretaker. But
yeah.
And that was what could have been.
Definitely. But I think if you do finish top 10, I think Grealish stays.
See, I wouldn't even be confident of that.
No, I think he
feel like we would have to get top 8
for him to stay.
Yeah, maybe some sort of European qualification. How is this new competition work?
Well, we've got another season to wait for that anyway.
It's another season.
Yeah, so don't need to worry about it just yet. We'll get onto that.
I mean, it's a competition made for us, that one.
Well, it's just basically what the Intertoto Cup was.
Exactly, it's made for us.
But I do think, just thinking about it in brief, it would mean the top 8 in the Premier League, 8 to 10, would be in European Cup.
The League Cup stays, then that would be the winners of that. If it wasn't, a top 7 team would go into that.
Yeah. Obviously, the top 3 automatically qualify for the Champions League. 4th go through the qualifying process. 5th get the Europa League. And then isn't it 6th getting if the FA Cup winners are in the Champions League, and then 7th place get it if the Carabao Cup winners.
The usual procedures that we have on now.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Villa are looking for a good season. I think these 2 results this weekend and on Monday against Chelsea could provide good stead going into the new year for Aston Villa and their foreseeable future. Just before we get onto our predictions, there's a bit of news yesterday regarding Burnley and one of their potential buyers. So Tuesday, as of time recording, as we're doing this on a Wednesday, and it was the consortium takeover led by Mohamed Al Kashi and Chris Farnell. They had appeared to be close to a 200 million takeover of the Clarets in October, but it was understood there has been no contact between the consortium and the Clarets chairman Mike Garlick for the past 6 weeks. And American firm ALK Capital still in talks to purchase the club for around the same price. So that is a bit of news on Burnley.
Is it a shame for him?
I don't know. I don't know much about them or what the investment they were prepared to make.
But you can't say they're a terribly run club.
No, I think it's one of them where they're an okay club and they're not really ever gonna. What you see is what you get with Burnley, and how they do their investment and expenditure wise it's never nothing silly. So I don't expect anything to change. But it'll be interesting to see if that other partnership does go through, and when it does, what news that brings for Burnley in terms of expenditure wise. Right, I think it's now predictions time for us. As we said on the show the other day, we had a good week. The pair of us spread out to 24 points. Me now on to 39 points for the season. I'll hand this over to you now, lad.
Cheers. Obviously, with the European leagues going through the Christmas break this week's predictions, they will be a little bit different. So we have the same 6 fixtures, 3 from matchday 15 and 3 from matchday 16 of the Premier League. So first one, Leicester, Manchester United.
For me, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side nick this 2-1.
I've also gone for a 2-1 Manchester United.
Okay.
Secondly, we have Leeds against Burnley.
I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to go 1-0 Leeds.
I have 1-1.
Game 3, and the final one of matchday 15.
Wolves and Tottenham.
For me, I don't know what Spurs team are going to show up. I really don't. The battle of the Portuguese managers, Nuno Espirito Santo versus Jose Mourinho.
Is he even going to be on the bench?
Well, yeah. We can have a little speak of that now whilst I think of my prediction. So he came out after the defeat to Burnley the other night and complained about Lee Mason, how he was handling the game. I mean, it was silly. I mean, yeah, he might have...
It's his emotions getting the better of him.
Yeah.
Slightly.
100%, because you might be disappointed with the referee and how he's refereed the game, but you know you're going to get a fine from the FA and possibly a touchline ban for your comment. So there was... Maybe you could have done a written request to the FA about it and write a complaint, but there's no... But coming out to the press like he did after that game and then still yet to apologise for his comments in his pre-match conference today, I think he's just going to land him with a big fine. Speaking of the game, I'm going to go with a Spurs 3-2 win.
Go for a scoring affair. You'll go with that. I'm going to go 2-0 Tottenham.
Okay. Matchday 16 fixtures.
We have Everton and Manchester City.
I think Man City win this 3-1.
I was originally going with that, but I'm not. I'm going for 1-1.
So instead of going for a big Man City
See-
win, you've gone for a draw now.
See, I did have 1-1. But I was thinking 1-1. I don't think Man City win this.
Mm.
Then I went, but then I thought Man City if they do 3-1, but no, I've gone 1-1.
Okay, fair enough. What is game 5?
Southampton and West Ham.
I think this has the billing to be a really good game, you know. And for that reason, I'm going to go with a Desmond Tutu.
I've gone 2-0 for the Saints.
Okay. And the final game of our predictions for this collective match days.
The Geordies versus the Scousers.
Newcastle versus Liverpool.
Sorry, do that Geordie accent again.
Newcastle, man.
Why are you?
Yeah, man. I'm from Newcastle. I'm gonna go 3-1 to Newcastle. To Liverpool. Sorry, 3-1 Liverpool.
Wow.
3-1 Liverpool. Oh.
You don't give outrageous predictions. What?
What? Coming from you saying Leeds would beat Man United?
Hey, listen. Well, here's another one. 4-0 Liverpool.
That's not an outrageous prediction, I don't think. I think Liverpool have the capability of putting 4 past them. So that's our 6 games. We'll obviously talk about them once we've had our review show, which will be after all the fixtures. So New Year's Eve, we'll have a look back at all the Boxing Day games and subsequent. Yes. And all the subsequent games after that, so 26th through to the 30th. Also on that show, we will pick our team of the year from the Premier League and our best and worst moments from the Premier League this season.
You got pissed at the fifth. Was it the fifth pro one or the one from the best awards?
It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that could potentially be up there. Before we get onto your segment of Did You See That? The bit of news earlier on that Kieran Trippier has been banned from all footballing activities for 10 weeks and fined 50,000, I think it was, after being found guilty of betting regards to his transfer to Atletico Madrid from Tottenham Hotspurs.
No, it's amazing. This came out in October, yet it feels like years ago.
Yeah. I mean,
2020.
that is 2020 in a nutshell. So he will be banned until football until the 28th of February and will miss the first leg of their last 16 tie with Chelsea. It's £70,000 that he's been fined. It's a bit surprising how short his ban was compared to Daniel Sturridge's, who was banned for 6 months for similar incidents.
Was one betting more than the other?
Oh,
Is that how it's come down to?
Must be. Right, I'll hand over to you now for the Did You See That segment.
Oh, he missed it! I do not believe what I've just seen! Very interesting! Oh! Something weird is going on. Shit! Did you see that?
Me opening big presents on Christmas. Shit. Oh, good. It's not going to be the best year, is it?
No.
Yeah, well, so, for this week's Did You See That? I have 2 things. I have one small story that came out, I believe it was yesterday, from time of recording this on the Wednesday. It would have happened on Tuesday. And I want to take a look in also on the Barcelona presidential candidates.
Mm-hmm.
So, But first, to start with the mass brawl that took place in an under-17s match in Brazil. Have you seen any videos of this?
Was it the one substitute that comes onto the pitch and karate kicks the other player?
It is exactly that one. It is.
I did see this yesterday, actually.
This is fantastic.
Yes, someone I follow who covers the Brazilian leagues tweeted it out, and I came with the comment of the new Karate Kid looks amazing.
So what is that in Portuguese? Would love to know. But literally, I think there was a foul happened on the pitch, and someone from the suspect comes in. Eric Cantona comes for a kick.
Well, it was two substitutes that come onto the pitch. I mean, the first one connects with the player's face, and then the second player comes on and continues kicking him whilst he's on the floor after being kicked in the face.
Giving him a right.
The thing is, the player that kicks the one in the face goes on and follows through and kicks another player who goes flying backwards by a few steps. Like, it really is incredible. Like, he's got that much momentum. He's kicked two players at once, one in the face and then one in the chest region.
Man turned into Kill Bill.
Absolutely phenomenal. Right, what's the other bit of stuff have you got for us?
Right. So, this week, I've been seeing some of the unbelievably outrageous stuff coming out from the mouths of candidates for the Barcelona presidential election. Well, you get track on this.
A tiny bit, yes.
The election is next month.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just going to go through some of the claims of 4 of the at least 10 candidates. There's way more, but yeah. So Vitor Font, who's been one of the more talked about names, he obviously wants Xavi in as manager.
Okay, that's been a lot of talk about getting Xavi in as manager, even post Kike Setien. I nearly forgot his name for a second.
There's a few other controversial things with that book as well. He wants Neymar in or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But here is one that I've seen. However you say it, I probably said it wrong in terms of Spanish, but Joan Laporte. This man wants to sign a world-class player for his team, and do you know who that is? It's going to change their lineup forever.
Mustafi?
No, this man wants Hector Bellerin.
He wants to be giving away foul throws at least 10 times a game.
This man wants Hector Bellerin as a top priority signing.
Nope. That's stupid.
As stupid as this is, but this guy is also a shithouse master.
Why?
Because he recently unveiled an electoral poster of himself. And do you want to know where it's located?
Outside the Bernabeu?
200 metres away from it.
That is top class shithousery. If we had an award for shithousery, he would definitely get one. Oh my God. That is class.
I mean, if we ignore the Bellerin stuff, sign that man immediately.
Yeah. I was going to allow him to sign off a deal to bring in Hector Bellerin because...
Wait, you think this bloke's hilarious? Get a load of Jody Farah, I believe, is that the name? This man has talked about signing Marcus Rashford and Neymar.
What an incredible front three that would be. Neymar, Messi, Rashford.
You have the icon.
Marcus Rashford.
I was going to get somewhere then, and you didn't even let me up.
Go on, I'll let you continue then.
Well, no, because it's gone now, and you've just... This is your joke. So what did... Oh, what's the joke? How does the joke go again? What did the chicken cross the road? There we go, so he goes to the other side, did it?
I can't even think of... You know when, like, Neymar, Messi and Suarez together, they had MSN. Ronaldo, Benzema, and Bale had BBC, what would they be? MMR? RMM? RMN? NMR? NMM?
Because Rashford's not technically a middle striker, is he? He's a winger.
Yeah.
He's
But
Messi's replacement.
no, they'd obviously. Would that mean okay? I'm not saying they will sign him, but before you
I'm not done
continue,
with this bloke, by the way.
yeah, but I just want to talk about that. If they did sign Neymar and Rashford, I'm not saying it's going to ever happen in a million years because it won't do. Does that spell the end for Griezmann at Barcelona then? Do you think? Do you think you'd be involved in a deal with Rashford or Neymar?
I'll ask this to you. If they offer Griezmann as a swap for Rashford, as well as money, do you
Nope.
take it?
Nope.
That's what I would have thought you. It doesn't seem like fair. That feels like a Man U doing a Barca-like deal.
Yeah, but it doesn't benefit Man United in any way.
No. But keeping on with this bloke, Jody Fair, because he has offered to do something if he gets the presidential election.
Become manager?
This man will offer free pizzas and tattoos to everyone at the club.
Free pizzas and tattoos?
Yep. Where do they find these people?
I mean, free pizzas, yeah, I'm not going to complain about. I mean, free food at any football ground, you're not going to complain about. Though pizza and Catalonia, not really something I would combine the two together, but whatever. But free tattoos, what's I don't understand that at all.
It's one of just Messi's face on. That's what I thought.
Or a sign that says Messi is better than Ronaldo, or what did you say his name?
That's a lot of words.
Yeah,
So,
Jody for life.
Jody for Jody for praise or something.
Oh, that would be awful.
We've had a laugh because now we have to go to controversial because one of them has come out in recent hours with something outrageous. Recently, we've obviously seen that the San Siro is going to get knocked down.
Yes, in the future, though. That's such a shame.
A stadium of glorious history.
Just iconic.
And if you know, Ron, Barcelona are in the midst of constructing a roof for the new camp and adding in another 10,000 seats, is it? Something like
that? Yeah, they're hoping to expand it to 100,000.
I know, I've seen the plans for it, like in person. It's quite
impressive.
It looks mental.
Yeah.
But Mr. Agustí Benedito.
Great pronunciation there.
Seagrain in Spanish. He has a different plan because this man wants to knock down the new camp and build a €900 million stadium in its place.
Yeah, he's not getting elected.
It's outrageous.
I mean, where would they play whilst that construction's getting done? Because it's going to take at least 3-4 years, like we did with the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which cost roughly the same.
From what I've read, they would play in the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona for 3 years while that was happening.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it seems a bit. It's not gone down well.
Yeah, it's one of them where it'd make more sense to knock down the Olympic Stadium and then build it there and move Barcelona there and get rid of the new camp, then move Barcelona there whilst redoing the new camp up.
It's seen like the 3D models of how this new the new look of the new camp's going to be. I want that new look. I've just remembered as well. I think it was Visual Font. Wasn't he the one who said he was going to rename like La Masia?
Yes.
Give it the motto, "You'll never walk alone." Or something.
Yeah, I did see that the other week.
Oh, brilliant! That game is Liverpool has ruined them.
Liverpool just live rent free in Barcelona's heads now. Absolutely rent free.
Are they going to call the Divock Origi room? Just the top it's going to say "Corner take it quickly."
Origi. Right.
But yeah, that's all I have on that.
Okay, and as this is going out on Christmas Eve, here's a nice poem for you to end. that I came up with during the early hours of this morning.
I'm
So-
expecting lyrical masterpiece.
I mean, it's not bad.
Would you say there's a cat then? Yeah.
I turned into a Scouse cat.
Yeah.
Looks like you've got me laughing now. I can't think of it straightly.
I'm just shit already.
'Twas the night before Christmas in the Premier League. Liverpool were once again on top of the tree, with rivals Manchester United sitting in 3. Chelsea and Man City are underperforming, while Son and Kane have been free scoring. Arteta and Arsenal are continuing to struggle, whilst Chris Wilder has had his Premier League fun bubble popped, while Slaven Bilic was the first manager to get chopped. And that is a quick summary of this season.
A quick show. Your delivery could have been slower then. You would have had more impact than you.
I was trying to get it through quicker because I
You
knew
got to
I was
read
going
through this like a CBeebies bedtime story.
Yeah, but I was gonna continue laughing at you saying I sounded like a Scouse cat then.
Is that Tom Hardy you or not?
Thanks. Yeah.
If you did it in a Cockney accent, I might have praised you. But no,
Oh, God.
it's credible.
Considering it took me like 5 minutes to come up with them right, I say I think I did a good job to do a quick summary on this Premier League season.
It's because I don't ask me to do it with Tom Hardy.
Nah, good. I was going to. Right, that is
Sounds
our
it
last
was like
pod.
that in there.
Right, that is our second last podcast of 2020, our last one before Christmas. So wherever you are listening,
The
we
word is
hope you have
penultimate.
whatever. Second last also works. It has the same meaning. Wherever you're listening to, we hope you have a Merry Christmas. Shut up. You have a great Christmas, whatever you're doing, and obviously making sure you're staying safe. Enjoy the football period. Enjoy the football period. We'll be back next week to round up all the 20 games that we have in the Premier League over the next 5 days, and we have a look back on 2020 on a whole in what was a definite strange year. Until then, it's Merry Christmas and goodbye from me.
Try
And
to enjoy it.
yeah, and goodbye from Brad, and we'll see you next week.